wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, the NBA is fining anybody that was on stage with Kendrick Lamar. I'm just joking. I'm just messing with y'all. Just joking.
I was about to say, what?
Just joking. What up, Morgan?
Good morning.
Put that lie out there. Where do you even get that lie
I
from?
was just joking. I seen all the NBA sites posting that their players were on stage. I was just joking.
MJ would never. No, okay, let's get into it. The headlines. Top of the headlines. The U.S. Supreme Court will issue more opinions as it still has some major decisions to hand down before its expected recess at the end of the month. Among them is a ruling on former President Trump's claim that he is immune from prosecution for alleged crimes committed while in office. The first Black attorney general who served under President Obama, Eric Holder, said the rule of law must be protected. Let's hear from him.
Anything less than a decision by the Supreme Court that says a president should be held to the laws just like any other American citizen should be. Anything other than that is absurd. The notion, for instance, well, if the president violated the criminal law but was doing so in his official capacity, there may be some basis to say that that's okay. We need to step back and think about that. A president can violate the American criminal law if he or she is doing something in their official capacity. That is an absurd and dangerous conclusion.
That is, especially with Donald Trump.
It's insane. I told you this months ago. That's insane to give a president immunity over any crime.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
That's wild, especially with Donald Trump.
Yeah, so other looming decisions include cases on the obstruction charges against the January 6th Capitol rioters and abortion access in medical emergencies. The conservative majority court is also expected to rule on whether states that prohibit social media companies from removing posts based on a political view violate free speech. So we will see what our Supreme Court is up to. I will continue to keep you guys posted on that. Meanwhile, former President Trump will have the last word in next week's presidential debate after a coin toss. The flip involved podium placement and the order of closing statements. Debate host CNN says Biden won the toss and chose the right podium position, with Trump being on the viewer's left. Now, Trump's campaign decided to speak last, meaning President Biden will give his closing arguments first. Both sides, of course, are gearing up for the event, with Biden meeting with his advisors in Camp David as he focuses on how to hold Trump accountable for his record on the debate stage in Atlanta. And Trump, meanwhile, said he's going to be holding policy discussions with his allies and vice presidential hopefuls as he aims to assure voters he can be a more effective leader than his political rival. Of course, that debate takes place next week, June 27th on CNN with no studio audience. Y'all gonna watch, right?
Must-see TV.
Yes.
Of course, must-see TV. And this is how you know it's a show. They got Donald Trump closing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The fact that
he
they got
won the
Donald
coin
Trump
toss.
closing lets you know that this is all a show.
Yeah. Or
coin toss, whatever.
Biden's gonna mean that he's gonna need mad one-liners. So I hope whoever helps him write and all that other stuff, Charlamagne, you might need to write some one-liners for him.
I think Joe Biden gonna get bodied. And the reason he's going to get bodied because nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining. And you're just not going to outlie Donald Trump. So therefore, he's going to be more entertaining. Like all of those, nobody going to care about facts and data and all. Like they're not going to care about any of that. Donald Trump going to suck all the oxygen out of the room.
Okay, well, tell him how you feel then. We saw this one coming, right? Thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not kill. Less than one day after the governor of Louisiana signed a bill that mandates the display of the 10 Commandments in school classrooms, there's a lawsuit to strike it down. The ACLU is suing. In a statement, the civil rights group says the law violates the separation of church and state and is unconstitutional. But backers say the Bible verses have historical significance. Back in the 80s, the Supreme Court struck down a similar law in Kentucky, saying it had no secular purpose. So, yeah, so it begins, guys.
All right. Well, that is front page news. Thank you, Morgan.
Thank you. Talk to y'all in a bit.
All right. Now, Charlamagne and Jess, you guys are both remote today, and you guys are lucky because the vice president is in town. So blocks, streets are closed off. There's police everywhere. It took a little extra to get to work. So if you're going to work and you live in the New York City area, the president is in town. Like the brother called yesterday from Atlanta when the vice president's in town. The vice president's in town. like the dude called yesterday from Atlanta, when the vice president comes in town, traffic is shut down. So give yourself a lot of extra time, all right?
Well, guess what?
What?
Guess what? I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. Jess is in Maryland. We are a nationally syndicated show in 100 markets. We don't care.
Well, the people that have to
That's
go to
what
New
we're
York,
saying,
New Jersey,
yeah.
Connecticut area do. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051.
Just F everybody else. Huh? You got any more traffic reports?
No, like
you got
the
any
guy.
more traffic reports around the country?
Like the guy that called yesterday from Atlanta when he said the vice president was in town. It's the same thing.
Self-centered New Yorker?
No, I'm just telling you my experience.
You're self-centered New Yorker?
Yes. You have a problem with it?
Jesus Christ.
You always South Carolina this,
Yes,
South Carolina
you're
that.
self-centered New Yorker.
Baltimore,
I
stupid
do.
dummy. It's
Yes,
the
I
same
do.
thing.
We don't care.
Well, I don't care about
We
you.
don't care.
Well, I don't care
Is what I'm
about
telling
you.
They not like
Oh,
us.
good. Remember
They
that
not
when
like
you come in
us.
for your little car show.
800-585-1051. Get it off your chest. If you need to vent, call us up right now. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning and happy Friday. Yes, we made it to the weekend, so let's get into it. In a Black Information Network exclusive, I was at the White House yesterday, and Vice President Kamala Harris hosted a fireside chat with Chrissy Teigen about women's reproductive rights. Let's hear more from the Vice President.
I think of this issue in two ways in particular. One, it is about the fact that our highest court took a fundamental freedom and the notion of it all, that such a basic right would be taken. And the second equally important part of it is, and it is not just that it then offends some intellectual or conceptual or academic notion. The harm, the actual harm that has occurred to real people every day since that decision came down is immeasurable.
Yeah, and in terms of that harm, she's talking about, physicians who are, subject to prosecution just for seeing their patients, talking about, the patients and, all the different things that they're dealing with. So Chrissy Teigen shared her story about her fertility journey, the loss of their baby at 20 weeks in 2020, and how she became better informed about abortion, because the definition of abortion as actually, there's a lot of misinformation about what it actually means. So for her, she ended up having an abortion because her pregnancy was not viable, or her pregnancy ended before 20 weeks. So technically that is considered an abortion. Now, John Legend and their kids were also sitting front row alongside Second Gentleman Doug Inhofe. The cast of Married to Medicine also attended the fireside chat. Following the event, I spoke with Dr. Simone, Dr. Heavenly, and Dr. Jackie on what advice they can offer women, especially Black women, when it comes to advocating for their health. Let's hear from them.
I have a young daughter, and I want her to be able to be not be afraid to ask the questions. And not only that, ask for a second and third opinion if she does not understand or does not agree with what the doctor's saying. Just don't be afraid. And these kids today, they are not afraid. So I'm just glad that my daughter and people like her have the voice that they're not afraid to ask the questions.
And then to further echo what they're saying is find somebody who you can take with you. Have an advocate, a family member who can go with you that will ask questions. Because when you're going through a process, having gone through chemo and breast cancer twice, you're not thinking. There's a fear and what's next, and you're getting poked. Take somebody with you. Have a family member with you. But if you see something, say something. Ask questions. Find somebody you trust.
Yeah, so again, advocating for women's health. Monday marks 2 years since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade.
Damn, 2 years already?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We moving backwards. And moving on, a Black congressman from South Carolina, Charlamagne, is blaming disinformation for President Biden's poll numbers slipping among Black voters. Recent polling suggests that former President Trump could attract up to 1/5 of Black voters in November. When asked about the poll numbers on MSNBC on Wednesday, Democrat Jim Clyburn said this is all about miscommunication and disinformation, and claimed the media was repeating these things rather than reporting what's actually happening. I know he ain't talking about me. Now, Trump received about 12% of the vote in 2020, or it's 12% of the Black vote, rather, in 2020. And it appears that once again, y'all, we have the sauce, Black people. Now, whether or not we use it to cook remains to be determined. So it's going to come down to the black vote in this election again. I'm sure of it. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, when you see the polls and they say 59% of Americans, 59% of Americans disapprove of the president, and it's not just black people, it's Latino, it's young voters. I don't know why they keep just stressing that it's us. like clearly it's a lot of America that's, disapproving of the president, but for some reason they just keep saying it's black voters, black voters. That's strange to me.
But disapproval of the president doesn't necessarily mean support for Trump either. So there's that.
But that's what they try to make it seem like. They try to make it seem like if you don't support Biden, you're supporting Trump. But you can not like what President Biden has done, or you can feel like he hasn't done anything for your community. You can have an opinion based on it and not support Donald Trump.
That's true. I mean, I doubt that anybody is going to fully 100% like a candidate. Correct. And that means that's across the board for anything you're voting for. So, there's going to be something you don't like about somebody. And that just, yeah.
And I think most people are just tired of the politics. Period. Like there's another stat that says one in 4 Americans have unfavorable views of both Trump and Biden. People just tired. They just tired of the whole system on both sides.
And what you gonna do about it? Y'all gonna get up there and do the job? Not y'all, but I'm just saying y'all, the people. Anyway. We can move on. And of course, it's officially summer, and with hotter days ahead this weekend, organizations like the Red Cross are offering advice on how to stay safe. Please stay safe out there, y'all. It is crazy hot. So with triple digits expected on both weekend days, avoid outdoor activities, exercise in the afternoon if you have to. Also, never leave kids or pets alone in a hot car. It's important to stay hydrated and avoid drinking beverages that contain caffeine or alcohol. They don't help with staying hydrated. And spending time inside is recommended. Hot temperatures may cause heat illnesses, and the most common are heat rash, heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. So yes, please stay hydrated out there, y'all. It has been crazy hot. That's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Follow me on social media at Morgan Media, MorganMedia. And for more news coverage, you can check out the Black Information Network at Black Information Network and VINnews.com.
All right. Well, thank you, Morgan.
Thanks, Morgan.
And please stay deodorized too, man.
He's put on the deodorant.
That heat, I'm telling y'all. Yes, some people, when it's over 90 degrees, for whatever reason, y'all are not able to smell yourself. I don't know what it is. If it's y'all,
you think with this heat wave, people weren't about smelling good?
Ladies, grab a wipe.
Yes, they should.
No, people worried about their lives because pets have died, people have passed out, and the last thing they worry about is smelling like subs.
Guess what? If you musty in a closed space, that can make somebody pass out faster.
My goodness. Thank you, Morgan. You have a good weekend.
Bye, y'all.
All right.
Wake that ass up. Early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.